Hello everyone, and I'm going to do for you guys an Adventure Communist quick start guide. I've played a lot of these versions. This is just the newest updated one. I'm not sure which one it is. I might be able to add that somewhere as soon as I figure out how to actually figure that out. But anyway, I will be showing you. My name is Sharkrat. Yeah, and this is my channel. Well, the channel that I'm going to make. This will be my first video as well, so I'm super excited about that. Anyway, a little bit of history about Adventure Communist is that it's made by the same people that make Adventure Capitalist. I particularly didn't like Adventure Capitalist, but Adventure Communist, it is a lot better to me, but that's just because I like these sort of games, but in the sense that Clicker Heroes did it, to where there's, more resource management that you have to take into account, that you'll go faster with more effectiveness. So the more effective you are, the faster you'll progress. The way that I've found, I don't play this like a clicking game, like because there are two ways to play games like this, which is one is you just spam click all the time. The other one is where you let it idle for a while. I tend to do the idling ones, and I try and maximize my efficiency with that. Calculators, math, stuff like that. But, that's just me. But in this, I'll just give you a quick start guide. I'll explain some stuff, and then I'll let you know what exactly, you're getting yourself into, and how the best way to do it is, and how to continue to generate these resources. Anyway, as you can see, I'm not new. I just started this one, I'd say roughly a day or two ago. It's the 18th when I'm going to make this, so yeah, like the 16th. 2 days, yeah. So I've been doing this for 2 days. It's like I said, I let it idle for a bit. I find myself running out of comrades more than anything. Anyway, let's go over the basics. You have a total of 5, 6, 7 resources, okay? Your most valuable resource is tech, but it is also the trickiest to obtain, as well as the most resource effective. So, the more effective you can be with it, the better you will become at it. The faster you'll progress. However, you don't want to run out, because there is a certain way in which you will run out, I should say. They also, in the new update, they messed with a lot of stuff, but especially the experiments, and I'm going to explain everything here in a second. So the experiments in the state, I mean, for the propaganda, that used to be, I think, 200 or something, and they pretty much doubled it because people were reaching it too fast. Anywho, let's go ahead and start. You'll do the tutorial, you'll do all that stuff. Anyway, the very first thing that you'll get is potatoes. Alright, you'll do the tutorial, you'll click on the potato button, get some potatoes, you'll upgrade it, then it'll take you to land, you'll do the same thing, take you to ore, weapons, and eventually medicine. 4 of these up here function the same in layout, and that's potatoes, land, ore, and weapons. Medicine does not. Potatoes, land, ore, and weapons all have tiers. Medicine has tiers as well, but they work differently. Now, let's go ahead and, for an example, do a potato, okay? Your potatoes will originally start out as 1 per click and everything, and then it'll times by 7 whenever this bar fills up, and then you'll get, be able to upgrade it. So then it'll be 7 per click, and then, 49 or whatever it is. Anyway, cool thing. You're going to need more than just potatoes to get your extra tiers. You will start out with all this stuff on the right, this thing, which is a commune, the collective. All this will be hidden at first. So just to explain the basics, you'll have potatoes, okay? Once you're able to buy a farmer, you should buy it, all right? I believe it's once you reach 100 of these farmers, and these farmers cost comrades. Comrades are used for almost anything, I believe. Yeah, almost anything. Like, they're used in everything, like, almost. So anyway, for 50 potatoes, 25 land, which you just click on the button to get land as well, click on the potatoes, and 1 comrade, you'll get, a farmer. Farmers produce potatoes, all right? The cool thing, for each farmer, you'll produce 1 potato at first. Now, if we go to the unlocks, You see how it says for as soon as I get 50 farmers, I'll get +1 to each farmer per second. Their output will be increased by +1. So instead of each farmer making 1 potato, they now make 2. And once you reach 100, you'll get another comrade per second. And then once you reach 1,000 farmers, you will get +2 production. So including the +1, you'll get +2. So each farmer will now produce 1 + 2 plus its original 1. So it'll be 4. That's just saying, hey, it's much better instead of just constantly clicking on this, trying to upgrade it, if we just buy lots and lots of farmers. Now, once you reach 100 farmers, the stuff, or 100 of the tier 1, these are tier 1s, the farmers, I believe this one's the worker, then the miner, the soldier, and the nurse. Yes, the nurse. Anyway, those are the tier 1s. Once you reach 100 of each of those, you'll actually receive the industry tier, which is basically all this stuff. The industry tier for potatoes, land, ore, and weapons. They work like this, okay? They are all connected. So, communes produce farmers. For each commune, it produces, I think it's like two farmers or something like that. But then, as you unlock more and more, as you unlock more and more of these, so like you see 50 communes, you get +1 to their produce. So instead of producing 1, they now, or whatever I said, instead of producing that, they produce +1 more. So, that sort of thing. And then the same thing goes with these collectives. Collectives will produce communes, and then it'll all just keep on stacking up. So your goal is you're going to focus on potatoes, all right? And I'm going to explain why in a second. It's because you need to keep your very valuable resource, tech, going, okay? It takes a tiny bit to build up. I haven't really been active on here in the 2 days. Otherwise, I'd already have this to show you guys. But once you get to hive, once you have reached the ability to buy hives, that's where you stop. Now, I've explained unlocks, what they do, and I've explained farmers, tier 1s, and the rest of them, okay? Now, we'll go on to the next thing. Comrades. Comrades are basically just your universal currency. You want to use comrades on anything and everything you do, okay? So like, this, it's all going to take some form of comrades. 1,000 comrades, 100 comrades. 10 comrades, 1 comrade, that sort of thing. The only thing that's different in this will be the colonies. That's because they produce the very valuable resource, which this is an ant colony, but they produce a very valuable resource, which is your tech or your scientists, whatever you want to call them. You will lose everything when you turn them in for a colony, which is why we have to set up some groundwork. Now, 3 ways to get tech or scientists, if you call it. 1, daily drops. Daily drops are, as you can see, you get them and you have 3 of each, so 3 from each of these resources, by clicking this button. That's all you do. You click the button until a drop shows up, okay? Once you click the button and the drop shows up, you get anywhere between 1 to 4 tech for each single drop. I believe before they used to have it to where it was like collectives might drop, or communes, or something related to that tier system might drop, sort of thing. But then again, back then you also had to spend tech on it. You don't anymore, which is really, really good. So, and I like how instead of, sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. It's always useful when tech drops. So, anyway, now that I've done that, so you can get it from your final tier is how you can get your, your tech, and I'll show you. You just claim it, and it's like 6 hours for this one, and then like 5 somewhere around here or something for these ones. But anyway, they increase. So 1, 1, 2, and then I think 3 and 4. Yep, so those are the baseline stats. I haven't upgraded any of them yet to increase the yield, the output. Anywho, so cool thing about this is what you want to do is you want to start by getting your potatoes and your farmers, all right? Now, in potatoes, land, and ore, all right? And this is what medals do. Medals are achievements. They're milestones. They're markers, okay? You want to get 1,000 of your farmers, 1,000 of your workers, 1,000 of your miners, all right? Also, if you want, you can go ahead and get 1,000 of these and 1,000 of these, okay? Each of those will produce tech in large amounts. That's what metals do. Whenever you click on metals, right? If you see here, the metals which are here, I have dig 1,000 potatoes, recruit 1,000 farmers. Those are what I got, and you'll get, for digging 1,000 potatoes, for having 1,000 potatoes, for having 1,000 land. And if you can do this, if you can do for farming, land work, mining, military, and health, if you get 1,000 of each of the base products, and then like 1,000 of the tier ones for potatoes, land, and ore, you'll have more than enough. The thing that I always suggest is skip medicine, and I'll explain that here in a second. You're going to skip medicine for two reasons. One, it does not work like the rest. These do not produce tiers that are underneath of it. The hospital does not produce, which is this one. The hospital does not produce a clinic, and the clinic does not produce a field hospital, and that doesn't produce ambulance, and ambulances don't produce nurses. They're all based off of for all the medicine, it's all based off of the other four categories and the tiers that they do. And that's because at some point you'll run out of comrades. Like if I wanted to right now, I have enough resources, I could just get rid of all my comrades right now as I speak. Like I could just go click one button, and you can buy in amounts of 1, 10%, 50%, or 100%. And I'll show you. See right here, this is all my comrades. This would be worth all my comrades. They'd all just disappear in like an instant, which is why the hospitals are so very, very, very helpful, because they give 100 comrades every 30 seconds. Now you can get tons of those, and I actually suggest leaving the medicine field alone for right now, because of this reason. Now, when you do the metals, when you unlock the basic metals, the bronze potato, the bronze flag, all the bronze of the primary potatoes, lands, ore, and weapons, when you do that, all right, you'll get a lump sum of tech, which is really nice, and it helps. And then once you're able to get 1,000, I suggest saving up your tech or your scientists. And that is for this reason: experiments. And I'm about to go over experiments. Experiments have trials. Trials are a limited time only, but you get a major boost. So like potatoes, right here. Look, potatoes times 7,777 for 20 seconds. Now, state is global. That means all of your industries, medicine, weapons, ore, land, and potatoes, they all of them get bonuses. Everybody agrees that the button auto clickers are actually the worst upgrade. I wanted to check them out myself this run through, so I actually bought one. It's horrible. It's mostly, I would say it would be better either really early game, but you don't want to do that because you're trying to get to late game fast, or when you just have so much tech that you just have to get rid of it, which probably will be super late game, just to try and top the charts or whatever you're doing. But anyway, this is going to be a goal to shoot for. There will be two goals. State, the only thing that you want to worry about, and this isn't even the first step, it's the propaganda for right now. But we forget about this. This is not our first step. This is how we perpetuate our tech. Now, industry. Industry is where you want to go. I've researched a total of 3 of 90, as you can see. You want to go to the top tiers, all right? And the reason for this is it's actually really, really easy. Okay, now you see how over here there's a hospital. Go ahead and skip any of the medicine techs like this. See? And the reason is we're focusing on the potatoes right now, and medicine is the hardest to do. Of course, you can get it later if you wish, that sort of thing. But for right now, I always start with the stuff that's the hardest to do, weapons. So, and the reason is, is this: if you get one division, right? One division, which is under the weapon tab, okay? If you buy one and that's just an inflated price. Every time you buy it, it inflates. It actually, like this was originally one of these divisions will produce 4 originally. It would have produced 4 platoons. However, it gives you a grand total of 1 of them already, and it increases the output by 5, times 5. So because of that, this is a very good strategy for idling, because you can go ahead, you can buy this one upgrade, right? And it's 150, I believe, starting off. And then ore is 140, land is 130, and I believe potatoes are 120 or 110, something like that. But because of this, every however many minutes this is, you'll get 20 of these platoons. And there are milestones, and they're usually the same. Like if you get 1,000 platoons, you'll get, words come to me, another medal. So by doing this, you're losing the least amount of tech, because you can spend 150 in weapons, but you can get, let's say, almost 90 of it back just from the medals that you'll achieve by letting it sit there. I let mine sit for roughly, I just come on to like collect the tech down here sort of thing. So every 6 hours I pop in, like early game, you'll get lots of medals, but this is where it starts to become stagnant. Okay, so weapons, ore, and land are definitely what you want. You want one of each of these experiments. You are not going to touch them afterwards, and I'll tell you why. All right, so under the industry, as you can see, they go up by increments and stuff. All right, so I was wrong. It was 110 for the potatoes, and 120, 130, 140, and 140. So, and then this one is 150. The medicine. I don't mess with the medicine. The reason you get these three first off is because that will be what you need in order to do your potatoes. Now, if you would like, you may, like I am right now, I'm going to buy the honey. Okay, honey for everyone. All right. So the reason for this is I would like it, and it works really well. Now, after you've unlocked all 4 of those, because it gives a big boost to your top tier, okay? The reason we focus solely on potatoes, all right? The reason we do this, all right, is because you want to start buying ant colonies, all right? So this one will be 4 hives, all right? It'll take all of your potatoes, all of your farmers, all your communes, all your collectives, and all your plantations, right? Now, if we look, land and potatoes are what's important for hives. I already have enough to do land, see, because I just let it sit, and then I upgraded this. Each one of these is, that many. I'm making 18 times e to the 18, 1.87 e to the 18th. So that means every time that this goes off, I'm making more than what I'm required to buy a hive. Now, if we get our potatoes up to that, okay, if we get our potatoes up to that by, and this will be the only one that you have to work on pretty much. If we get our potatoes up by, just letting it idle, and then we just buy it by hand type of deal, If we do that, okay, if we go ahead and we just say, hey, yeah, I want to buy this, but I don't have enough potatoes. Oh no, what do? We get more. We get more of it. So we buy more plantations. You can go to your unlocks. Your unlocks are what you'll be working on for the most part of your farming, is what it will be. So like, you want to look and you want to try and upgrade to those after you've sustained yourself. And the reason I do this is because in the beginning, I don't focus on weapons or land, because as you can see, we're low on supplies. We're short on, potatoes for this to make another hive. So the reason we do this is, from here on out, after we've bought, you can even do just land, ore, and weapons if you want. You don't have to do the potatoes one. Sometimes I'll grab the potato one because, the hive one, because I just like the bonus, the ×5 bonus, and it is really helpful, honestly. So what you want to do after this is basically your setup, okay? This is the setup. Afterwards, you want to stockpile your tech, okay? And then you go into your experiments. Now is the time when we want propaganda. We want to save up 400 tech, which isn't too awfully hard, but as long as your other 3 industries are stockpiling, they'll continue to unlock metals and such. Once you hit this propaganda under state, okay, all your resource speed will be ×3. So that means your idle time will be less in between buying hives, all right? Once this happens, all right, you'll get 4 hives and it'll be like nothing. Plus, it also increases these. So these will now boost ×3 as well for the output and everything. But the reason we're focusing on this is because by doing this, we've set up everything else that we will need to buy hives. Okay, I have not yet seen an incremental increase. So that means every time you buy a hive, it costs more. I have not seen that. I know for a fact that whenever I upgrade this and decrease all my stuff, it'll go back to normal. However, the only thing that will increase is the amount of hives that you need for the next station. And because you've already increased the speed of all of the stuff by times 3, you'll be getting lots and lots of tech, you'll be getting lots and lots of stuff early on, and you'll be able to basically just fill this back up, and you'll keep on filling it back up. And it's always good to have that. And by setting this up, you can focus solely on the potatoes to get you into a place where maybe you have 10, 20 tech just being produced by an ant farm. I am uncertain as of right now whether or not the times 3 affects the ant colonies. I have no clue as to that. It says statewide, however, I honestly don't know. So I will have to take a look. I would assume so. However, it says all resources speed times 3. And I know it affects these. However, I'm not sure about the tech. I'm going to assume it does. But if not, it just helps with, hives and stockpiling and filling this back up as fast as you can in order to increase your hive output. Because once you're able to do that, you'll be getting 10, 20, 30 just from ant colonies. Once you've reached that mile marker, that's when you can move on to, I want to upgrade my land, or I want to upgrade my ore, or something like that. You can even go through, unlock all the experiments, one of each of the experiments, whatever you want to do with it at that point. That's where it becomes your call, your choice where to go. This is just a quick start guide, like I said. So to recap, you want to unlock the metals until you can afford the industry for weapons, the top tier industry for weapons, or in land. Okay, so you'll want to get the divisions, deep bores, and highways. It's optional to get hives. I've found that it's actually slower if you get hives, unless like you literally just hit 110 tech and you're still on basic potatoes. That's not putting much, like, even collecting into it, because in the beginning you will have to do some clicking, you will have to buy some stuff, that sort of thing. But of course, that's in any game. It's the startup. Then you'll start to idle more and more, like me. At this point, I'm just idling to collect the tech, and then I'll do, like, once a day I'll do my daily drops, and that's it. That's what I'll do. So anywho, once you're able to reach this cap of where e to the 22, okay, once you can reach that, okay, by doing this stuff, it becomes a lot easier. So recap: 1, get your metals, get your weapons, or in land, one of. Okay. Next up, potatoes. Focus them. If you want to buy the hive, you can. If you don't want to buy the hive, go into experiments. Your next one is propaganda, which increases your speed times by 3, which I am assuming affects ant colonies. However, don't take my word for it. I have not yet updated. Like, I've updated the game, of course, but I haven't gotten to that point yet in the update. So I'm not sure if they do or do not. I would assume so. However, I may be wrong. At which point you want to build up your ants. You want to build up your ant colonies, because it'll be the hive and you'll get, increased. You'll be able to reach. The reason we buy the propaganda is because you'll be able to reach the hives faster. It'll all happen faster, and it'll start decreasing the time it takes for you to upgrade ant colonies. Once you get to a good spot where you're getting 10, I don't know, however much you think is safe, then you may choose which path to go. Start working on medicine, start working on land, or weapons, whatever you choose. The game is designed so that way you go from potatoes to land to ore to weapons to medicine. However, it is effective if you can reverse that process. The only reason that it doesn't work with medicine is because, like I said, you don't get any of the extras. It doesn't go downward. It just produces comrades and actual medicine. Okay? So because of this you'll have to get into eventually. However, as you can see, it costs all the other guys resources. So they usually want you to do this one last, and that's because it does have a really, really high yield. As you can see, it doubles from 4 to 8. And I honestly agree with them that I don't think that this is enough to wait on, because it doesn't have the linear, well, I call it linear scaling, but it doesn't have the, trickle down as the rest of them do, which is why I suggest don't do it until, you're absolutely 100%, you're low on comrades and you need this. And by that point, you'll be able to do stuff like, oh, I have, 5 divisions. I can buy, I can buy 3 of these or something, just whatever. You'll be able to have your divisions. You'll be able to boost them, because at that point you'll be all into the experiments, all through the industries, state stuff. You'll be doing all that stuff. That's when you get later into the game. But as of right now, the keys are focus potatoes, get weapons, ore, and land as your experimental unlocks. They're the most expensive. After which, focus potatoes, build up that hive, build up those hives, build up those ant farms. Get propaganda is your next step, and then continue from there once you've got a good amount of the tech, or the scientist, if you will. That's just my way of it. It seems very easy to me whenever I idle, because I tend to play these games as more of an idle rather than a click, 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 because I can be doing other things as well while I'm doing this, and I only have to pop on every 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours. And if it does speed it up by ×3, I think that brings it down to 2 hours. So that's actually really, really good if you get propaganda and it does work that way. However, if it doesn't, I apologize. So I don't mean to get your hopes up. That would be amazing if it did, because then every 2 hours you're getting, once you've started working on your ants, you'll get 10 of these every 2 hours. That's amazing. That's 240 a single day, just from ants. So it's nice. I like it. This is the way I play it. This is the way I quick start my my game every time. I've tried some other ways to do it, like to try and get the text early, to try and focus on potatoes. And once you get to the point wherever you're making like 10 tech, definitely I would highly suggest, under your industry, go ahead and buy the little 5s, at least one of them. They're really, really good for at least one of them, because at that point you'll just be wanting to buy hives, and when your potatoes go ×9, 9 × 7 right there, 9 × 7, well, immediately you'll start out with 9, and then once you do it ×7, it'll be all the way up to 72 just from your first upgrade. It's really, really nice, for any of these. So once you're able to make that tech, I suggest that. But besides that, that's all I'm gonna have for now. Like I said, this is gonna be my first video, so woohoo! I'm glad that that's happening. I'm finally getting to do this. I've been wanting to do this forever. I've been wanting to do this, but I didn't think I had the expertise or the knowledge or whatever. But I'm glad that I finally got around to it, because I'm actually happy doing this. I watch lots of people on YouTube, and now I'm ranting at this point. But I love the YouTubers. I love all of them. I watch League. I watch tons of game YouTube videos. I absolutely love Subnautica. I've been watching the crap out of Bricky Orchid at 8. Yeah, shout out to him if he ever sees this. Yeah, that would be awesome. But anyway, I've even wanted to do this. Anyway, I'll stop ranting. Sorry, and I'll end it here. So you guys have a good night. Right now it is like early in the morning, so have a good time, you guys. And I hope that I get to do another one of these soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be adventure communism or capitalism or whatever. Hopefully I can do a spotlight on like Clicker Heroes or something. I love that game. So I can like do maybe a difference, show you guys how to start up each type of Clicker Heroes. There's 2 different ways to play it. There's the clicking one, and then there's the idling one. And Clicker Heroes goes a lot more in depth with it, because it actually makes you like specialize between the 2 if you want to do it really well. And I absolutely love that, and that's why this reminded me so much of it, because you could choose, like I did, to go weapons or land or potatoes, or you can choose to skyrocket only your potato industry by unlocking all the experiments only pertaining to potatoes. You can do different tactics like that. It all depends on you. This I just found is a really well-rounded start you off, then you can specialize into whatever you want, which is why I'm giving it just a quick start guide. So yeah, Anyway, you guys have a good night, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Good night.